because sanctions lead to hostilities. And if you commit to the sanctions, you're really committing to the next step. The sanctions of the 1990s and the year 2000, the sanctions on Iraq, eventually led to the hostilities and the war and the invasion. So what did that invasion of Iraq do? Did we find any al-Qaeda there? No. We found out that Saddam Hussein wouldn't allow the al-Qaeda there. No weapons of mass destruction. We've turned the country upside down, hundreds of thousands of people injured and killed. We have suffered devastating problems from this. And what has happened? We've turned the government of Iraq over to the Shiites, who are allies with the Iranians. So that whole policy has actually backfired. So now what we're doing to the Iranians is driving them into the pockets of the Chinese. The Chinese are pretty good capitalists these days. They work hard, they produce, they sell us certain goods and services. We pay them, they save their money, and they're starting to invest. So they're investing around the world.
You can watch the rest of Ron Paul's statement up on Infowars.com. But America has always been a good nation. We have good people in this country. But our country has been seized by corporate interest. It is being used as an engine to carry out criminal global conquest. And the world sees this. And now these crippling sanctions moving through Congress on Iran are an act of war and are patently illegal. Not in my name. We'll be right back. Look, all I'm calling for is the same activism that has shaken the foundations of the global empire. We are discrediting the mainstream media. We are discrediting the criminal banking system. We are exposing the crony capitalism that is not free market, that is vertically integrating society and destroying the middle class. We have had a great effect because of you, the listeners and the viewers of this radio show, and you, the supporters and fans of my films. And so I'm asking you, the listeners and viewers today, to go to Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com and to click on the top story. Time for another mass viral wake-up call for humanity. That's the Paul Watson headline that has our two newest films and pretty decent YouTube quality from a director channel, so it's all up there in one piece. And if you go to Infowars.com, you can read the headline story that I posted. New offensive in the info war starts today with two free films. And these two films cost around $200,000 to make, and they're absolutely free to you and your family. So please, I know this is not pearls before swine. Take advantage of this. There are already hundreds of other copies that we found online, but we've linked to the best free online copies that we've seen, the highest quality. As of today, with us linking to these, they already have close to 350,000 views between them. I would like to see these in the millions by next week. And, of course, then that will create a fulcrum for other people to take notice of the films and to share it with their friends and family, so we can have these two new films be seen tens of millions of times each in the next year. Another serious blow against the globalist. No rumors, all documented fact. Police State 4, The Rise of FEMA, in full quality, in full length up there, and Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined. Both films free for you right now at Infowars.com. Post it to your Facebook, your MySpace. Go in to the mainstream media website message boards. Post it there for them. Post it on your local talk radio chat boards. The power of you, the people, taking action is unstoppable. We have produced these information warfare weapons. They are much more powerful than the media lies because they are the truth. And so I'm asking all of you right now to ensure that these films have a massive effect. And I know you won't let me down because you understand we're all in this together. We also have just completed the full bibliography online. We're going to be linking that today for Invisible Empire. It's like a book. You can check all our facts there. And we're also working in the next week on getting the bibliography up for Police State 4, The Rise of FEMA. That, of course, is also free as well. You don't see the mainstream media creating documented, second-by-second indexes and bibliographies so people can check out the information for themselves. Because, as I always say here, do not believe a word I say. Research every claim I make. But also, when you see us being attacked, research the claims being made against us. We've got George Soros' websites attacking us. We've got Newsweek, Time Magazine, the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, the London Guardian, lying about us, saying we're calling for violence when we call for the opposite. We call for a peaceful restoration of our Bill of Rights and Constitution and due process and law. And so that's been discrediting the establishment, that they've been doing that as of late. I saw a big neocon publication. You can just Google Alex Jones and pull up the article today, claiming that I am saying that the earthquakes in Chile and in Haiti were caused by the U.S. government. I've never said that. In fact, I've been criticized by some listeners for not saying that the government did that. But again, they discredit themselves with this. For the tens of millions of people that have tuned into this radio show and seen the articles we've written about this, they know that we didn't say that. And so, again, that further discredits these liars. So we want you to look into what we have to say. We want you to look into what others have to say. What we did say about the earthquakes is what former Secretary of Defense Cohen in 1997, in the April issue of the Army Times, told them that governments have developed weather weapons and tectonic earthquake weapons, and that they are a serious threat. And so we simply said, when callers called in asking us what we thought about it, and callers who were sure that it was a government operation, we simply stated that the government has said these weapons exist. The government lies so much, who knows if that's true. The point is, Secretary of Defense Cohen said that, not us. And I don't like being lumped in with Hugo Chavez. In the same article, I'm a critic of Hugo Chavez, just as I'm a critic of Barack Obama, just as I'm a critic of George W. Bush. Anyone who's a tyrant, I'm a critic of them. But it turned out Hugo Chavez didn't say that either. Another lie by the mainstream media here in the United States. And that is why they are losing their viewers. You've had CNN has lost more than half its viewers just in the last 12 months. Glenn Beck in the last 2 months has lost more than half of his TV viewers. People now wised up to the fact that he's playing the false left-right paradigm and posing as a constitutional populist when he's not. All the other major news channels, broadcast TV, cable, you name it, are losing viewers. And not just to the internet. They're losing viewers because people have become wise to the fact that the media spins, lies, deceives, or takes things out of context, or builds straw men. But whether it's NBC News or CNN or ABC, these are just subsidiaries of the large central banks and of the military-industrial complex that President Eisenhower warned us about. And so the controllers of these systems really don't care if they end up losing all their viewers, because in this transformation into a tyranny, what the head of the FCC and others have called for a state-run megaphone, and for the Cybersecurity Act to basically take over the free internet and shut down alternative news and voices. They're going to do this in a phased-in process. And so you've got a perfect storm between the dinosaur-dying mainstream media and the government, and this is happening all over the world, against alternative news, against alternative journalists, against alternative ideas, because they're losing the fight in the marketplace of ideas with the truly diverse internet that has empowered the citizen journalist, the citizen pundit, the citizen filmmaker, the citizen researcher. And so that's the process that's taking place right now. You've also got the mainstream media, who is completely and totally obsessed with access to politicians that simply regurgitate talking points or basically give them a press release. They're too obsessed with being invited to all the big gala dinners and to their large paychecks. to ever be able to actually engage in any hard-hitting, deep investigative reports. Oh, you'll see some mainstream news slapping Goldman Sachs on the wrist and saying they made a mistake, they screwed up. But they never go to the actual Goldman Sachs documents and J.P. Morgan documents where they admit the whole thing was a premeditated implosion of the economy by design. So you have the mainstream media and the government moving to try to censor and control the internet and talk radio and alternative information because they just can't compete with people who don't have their hands tied like they do. So look out for that to happen.